Welcome to this flash tutorial titled Number Game Part 2. It's a follow-up to the Number Game Part 1, and that's what I have opened on my computer now. This is the Part 1. I have it opened, and when we did the Part 1 and left it, we had this where we were generating a number and then we were tracing that number. Up here we said my gen number is, and that's the number that was actually generated by the random generator, and down here we're checking to see that it happened, and we're saying trace 1. Well, we're going to be doing more traces, so right here I want you to put this code, type, quotations, called, space, quotation, plus. And you can take that and copy that and paste it in for all these, like that, there, and here. So I'll do the remainders and get back to you. I have them all done, and I'm just going to do a quick test. I've already done it, but you should do a test and make sure that each number is called and has two lines. My gen number is and a called number. So make sure you have all your numbers 1 to 10. Now let's use these a little more, these 10 variables. We don't want to call a number a second time. So this line here is going to help us do that. So right here, after this trace, put an enter and type this code. What it does is, if number 1 is generated, this and this will be true because we made this a 0 from the start. It will trace number 1, but then it will make this number here a 1. So the next time it comes here to check this, this will not happen because this is testing for 0 and we will have made it a 1. Copy this. Come down here, paste it in, and make this my number 2. I'll do the remainder and get back to you. Again, I have them all done, and I want to test it to make sure it's working. And this time you'll see the difference. Oh, I have an error. On frame 1, line 81, I have something wrong on line 81. So here's 81. Oh, look at this right here. Somehow that square bracket got there. Love that output test thing. Okay, let's test it again. Test movie test. Okay, now you can see when I generate it, I didn't get number 1 for some. Oh yeah, good. You see what's happening? Up here somewhere I generated a number 1 and I called number 1. Down here, because that bit was made a 1, this time when I generate it, I don't call it out. The same with 4 and 5 and 9. If they're down here, eventually you would see them. Let's do a couple more of them so you see that. Control, test movie test. Actually, let's generate all the numbers. Go till I have them all pretty well generated. There. All of a sudden, I'm just generating them and I ain't calling them up. So that way there, you only get the numbers once. Now, this would be a good time to save it if you haven't, because you wouldn't want to mess it up. So make sure you save it, and save it as part 2. Now, we're going to put these generated numbers into something called an array. An array is just a list of things, just a list. So under this last variable, put a couple enters in and type this code. It's a variable, var, and I'm calling it my number array, colon, capital ARRAY, that will turn blue if it's spelt right, equals new space array. small NEW, that's purple, and again array, capital ARRAY, open close bracket, semicolon. So now let's use this array. This is where we're going to put the numbers as we generate them, actually as we call them. So come down here to where we're talking about number 1, our first call out, put an enter and type this code. My number array, that's that array we just made up here. You can copy that my number array and paste it in if you want. Period, push, small p, USH turns blue, open bracket, 1, close bracket, semicolon. So when we call this number up, we're going to put a 1 in the array. And as we put things in the array, they're just stacked in order, one on top of another. So copy this, right click, copy it, come down here for number 2, paste it in, and change this to a number 2. So when we select this one, we'll put a number 2 in the array. Come down here, paste it in, make this a number 3. I'll do the rest, and then I'll get back to you again. I have mine done, and there's no value in testing it right now because we can't see that array. So right here after this, close curly bracket, put a couple enters, and type this code. It's one of those traces again. Trace, open bracket, my number array, close bracket, semicolon. So now as we put these numbers into the array, you'll see them. Control, test, movie, test. No errors. And I'm going to start clicking. So there's the first number. 4 went into the array. 4 again. Now see, it's being generated, but it's not being called, and still I only have the 4 in my array. Now I'm generating 10. I called 10, so now I have 4 and 10 in my array. Now I have 4, 10, and 2. I called 10 again, so it's not going to come in the again. Gotta keep clicking, and eventually I will have all 10 numbers in the array. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There they are. Again, don't go any further until you get this working. Now I just want to show you something that might clear this up a little bit more. Let's go back to number 1 up here for a minute. When we select the number 1 and we're pushing 1 into the array, let's make that a 33. So when instead of number 1 appearing, we'll see 33 appearing. And down here where 4 is, let's make that 66. So you'll see something here. Test movie, test. Right here, when I generated 4 and called 4, it's 66 that I'm putting into my array, just as I said. And I think the other one was on number 1 that I did something. Yes, when I did number 1, I generate 33. So that might clear it up for you just a little bit. Go back and fix those. I'm just going to click undo. That's my 4. I'm going to get rid of that 33. Click undo, and I'm back to where I was. There's going to be a follow-up. It'll be part 3. If you plan on doing that, make sure you save this FLA. Hope you learned something from this tutorial, and I hope you use what you learned.